because I want it to be. That's literally it. I just view it as canon. Many fans do, and yet I see people who will go crazy because you dare say that Undertale Yellow is canon. Why? Why can't you just let me have fun? I just want Martlet and Clover to be canon. This video is gonna be me talking about Undertale Yellow and why I view it as canon. Also why it's amazing and why I love Clover and why he's the best protag for this game. In Undertale, the tone can be like a metronome that works perfectly. One side it's funny, it's goofy, has goofy characters. On the other side of the metronome, it has beautiful music, beautiful scenes, and characters that can be kinda deep at certain times. With Undertale Yellow, one side is funny, it's goofy, and it has goofy characters, and on the other side, it has beautiful music, beautiful scenes, and characters that can be kinda deep at certain times. Both stories have moments that make you just fall in love with the characters in one way or another, and are there imperfections? Yeah, but I don't care at all. Nothing is perfect. Nothing ever will be. Even if you think something is perfect, there will always be something that will be better than it. I know this may upset, I don't know, a few people watching this, but I kind of love Undertale Yellow more than Undertale in some regards. No wait, please. Still love Undertale, and it's still a great game. It's just that I'm more biased towards Undertale Yellow because I just am. Also, it was literally the only game to make me tear up and cry. I have cried before in some games, but they were always kind of quick, and they were only a few tears at most.
Get back in there, Tia.
But when I say I cried at the end of Undertale Yellow, the true pacifist one, not the other ones, I mean I couldn't stop crying. After finishing the game on stream and crying for 10 minutes, I went to bed, crying for another 30 minutes. Probably wondering what made me tear up the most. It was Clover's sacrifice. I'm gonna talk about Clover now. Despite knowing Dalv, Martlet, Starlo, and Ceroba for at most a few hours in total for all of them, those few hours basically made everybody have some sort of character development. Dalv went from someone who completely isolated himself from the rest of the underground, not wanting any business to them, to getting out of his house, starting fresh, and also performing in front of a live audience. Martlet went from being an awkward bird and someone who's just kinda goofy, to someone who, while is still goofy, is much more initiative and takes bigger action, assessing situations more seriously and with actual plans, and also being a good mother to Clover. Yeah, I'm on Team Momlet. Best bird mother at. Starlo went from having a cowboy persona to make the underground happier, but got caught up with it, causing his friends to dislike him, to realizing his mistakes, and while still having the cowboy personality, accepts that he took it too far and bears himself so he doesn't make it his entire personality. Ceroba went from someone who experienced literally every state of grief to someone who can finally be themselves again and better themselves. Now let's talk about each stage of grief she went through, since I think it's a good demonstration of the 5 stages of grief. Denial. Thinking the only way Kanako could survive is if she uses Clover's soul instead of any other solution out there. Anger. Hurting both her friends, betraying Clover, and trying to kill him because she is so desperate for her daughter to be saved. Bargaining. Bringing up my last few points, believing that sacrificing Clover will be the only way to truly save her, and thinking that by doing this, she's also fulfilling Chunin's legacy. Depression. After losing to Clover, Ceroba is basically lost. She doesn't want to live with the guilt of her constant failures, and believes that death would be better. Even when Clover refuses, she still wants death, and even tries to let Clover give in into his anger for betraying him. Luckily, Clover still refuses to do it, and Starlo and Martlet, and even Clover help her with the last stage of grief. Acceptance. Starlo comforting her and telling her he was in a similar situation, being blindsided, hurting Clover, and being someone who he wasn't. Martlet tells her that fulfilling Chunin's legacy doesn't have to be a way to free monsters or some powerful weapon, but it's the impact he had on everybody he knew and met. So in essence, it's about the friends he made along the way. Both of them agree that what Ceroba did was wrong, but she does not deserve to die for this, and that she doesn't have to carry this burden alone. Finally, Clover. Despite being betrayed, almost killed by her, He doesn't say a word when she tries to apologize. He just hugs her, showing that he does forgive her. And lastly, for character development, Clover. Not false pacifist Clover or neutral or genocide, true pacifist Clover. In my opinion, which is true, the canon version of Clover and the best one. Clover is a human, obviously, and since it's a human, he was most likely told about how monsters are evil and want to obtain human souls to grow stronger. However, as he adventures and befriends everybody he meets, he learns about monster kind struggles, and despite them being monsters, they aren't different from humans when it comes to emotion, caring, civilization, and most importantly, unity. Monster kind unity is way better than human unity, but you get my point. Clover befriends people that are seen as enemies and dangerous to humans, and even when they are trying to kill him, he still shows mercy because he sees the good in them and gives them a chance to be better. It's the main reason he doesn't want to kill Ceroba. He knows Ceroba is a good person. He may not understand what she's been through, but he can understand she is going through hell, and killing her would also be very hypocritical. People like Starlo tried killing Clover simply because he got so caught up with his cowboy persona that he was actually making himself unlikable to his friends and blamed Clover. When you beat him, he admits what he did was wrong and was gonna try and fix things the best he can. And even after all of that, Clover showed he forgave Starlo. No words, just a simple gesture showing he does forgive him. And on top of that, killing Ceroba would be the exact opposite of what justice is actually about. Justice can be subjective, but the general view of justice is the ethical, philosophical idea that people are to be treated impartially, fairly, and properly. I believe Clover embodies this idea in a very good way, treating everybody he meets along the way not as an enemy or a foe, but just as a regular person and giving them a chance. Giving everyone a chance to be good, and that's also why I love Clover's choice of serving Ceroba. He's giving her a fair chance to stop what she's doing, and as soon as she finally stops, he shows her not just mercy, but forgiveness. And lastly, this is one of the things that broke me. He remembers the struggles monsters have to endure, and all they simply wish for is freedom. Freedom out of a prison that no one deserves, let alone an entire race. In Clover's last choice, a choice he makes entirely on his own, he wants justice for all of monster kind. He wants to aid in not just freeing all of monster kind, but his friends as well. It's a bittersweet ending, but I think it's an amazing ending. Despite being a kid, despite just being in the underground for at most a couple hours, Clover improved the lives of everyone he met. Undertale Yellow may be a fan game, but calling it a fan game is kind of a disservice because of how amazing the game is. I don't care if it has flaws, I don't care if it's not official, I view it as canon. The game is amazing. I love Undertale Yellow because of its story, its gameplay, its characters, its music, and the passion behind the project. I hope for more games like this, and while it may take years, I'll still be waiting. I know this isn't a very good essay video, but thank you so very much for watching, and see all you nerds later.